Hi, it's me. This is my channel. And we're going to look at an amazing close encounter with a UFO in today's video. This event happened on November 18, 1986. At 1:23 a.m., a Japanese Boeing 747 cargo aircraft was flying at 31,000 feet over eastern Alaska. The pilots, Captain Terauchi and First Officer Moulton, were flying from Tokyo to New York. They had two crew members with them. Suddenly, the pilots saw two bright orange objects descending very rapidly from 60,000 feet down to 50 feet in just a matter of seconds. The objects stopped directly behind the 747, then the objects started to move alongside the plane at the same speed and heading. Within a few minutes, the objects began to get closer. They went from being 20 miles away to being just 3 miles behind the 747. Crew watched in amazement as the objects approached. As they got closer, the cabin of the 747 was lit up and filled with a strange heat. The cockpit was filled with light, momentarily blinding the pilots. They could hear a strange noise that was similar to a jet engine, but there was no craft that they could see. All they could see was the bright light outside of the windows. The entire event lasted about an hour. As these two objects flew away, a much larger disc-shaped craft emerged from the darkness. It was roughly the size of a 747. The crew watched as this large disc-shaped object started to follow the 747. It seemed to be matching the speed and heading of the 747. Captain Terauchi contacted Anchorage Air Traffic Control and requested a change of course to avoid the unidentified flying object. The captain maneuvered the 747 in an attempt to get away from the UFO. He turned on all of the available lights in the cockpit, hoping to scare off the UFO. But the UFO continued to follow. No matter what the captain did, the UFO followed. The pilots banked the 747 to the left and right, and even did a barrel roll in an attempt to shake off the UFO. The UFO followed, all the way until the 747 reached Canadian airspace. The pilots landed the 747 in Edmonton at 4:30 a.m. and immediately reported the UFO sighting to the local Canadian authorities. When the pilot reported this UFO sighting, he also mentioned that he had been followed by another UFO just one day earlier as he was flying into Anchorage, Alaska. On that date, he had seen a green glowing object following his plane. That object had also matched the speed and heading of the plane. However, that object only followed for about 15 minutes. In total, the crew of this 747 had witnessed 3 separate UFOs during their flight from Tokyo to New York. Now, here is where things get strange. After the pilots landed the plane, the Canadian authorities contacted the FBI and the CIA and asked if they should turn the matter over to them. The FBI and CIA said yes, and all of the data, including the ground radar that tracked this unidentified craft, was collected and taken to a meeting with the FBI and the CIA. The government officials could not explain what the pilots had seen, but they did say that this was the first radar recording of a UFO that they had ever seen. The officials admitted that the radar data was completely anomalous and that they couldn't explain it. Now, here's where things get even stranger. The people who attended that meeting have said that afterwards, the government officials destroyed all of the data and evidence related to this case. Any of the people involved in this case have been threatened with blackmail and/or lawsuits if they ever revealed what they had seen or, more importantly, what they had heard. There are several people who have come forward claiming that they were part of this meeting or that they were briefed on this case or that they worked on this case. However, the official story has always been that this event never took place. The FBI and the CIA continue to deny to this day that this meeting ever took place. What do you think really happened? Were these pilots seeing actual extraterrestrial spacecraft? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, make sure to subscribe. If you want to watch more amazing videos about unexplained UFO encounters, check out the playlist right here. If you enjoy my content, please consider supporting me. I love what I do, and I hope you enjoy learning about these amazing and mysterious events as much as I do. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.